John, niaje?
Wasana.
Yeah, thank you so much for accepting to be on this video. And today I'm doing content just like I had shared with you, and it's regard to Kakuma experience. And you being a person who has lived in Kakuma, maybe first you can introduce yourself, and then I will ask you a few questions that I have in regards to like your whole experience living in Kakuma. So jitangulize, introduce yourself and let the world know who you are.
Asante sana, Tabitha. My name is John Tututbol. We work with Tabitha together at iConnect. As she has said, I've been born here in Kakuma Refugee Camp. That time it was in Lokichogyo. My father and my mother, they fled the conflict of South Sudan, as you know. So I found myself being born here without no option. So nimezoea maisha huko. So I think that is it.
Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Wanjira Maina. I'm a Kenyan storyteller living in Kakuma in Turkana County. So on today's video, I'll be sharing with you what to expect if you decide to visit or move into Kakuma. I know for most people, they are like, what's the weather condition there? What is the housing conditions? And then how is security? How is transport? Because I know these are key concerns that most of the people have in regards to Kakuma. So we know Kakuma is geographically isolated from many cities. This is like 830 kilometers away from the capital city of Nairobi. So how do you even get here? What are the transport alternatives in Kakuma? Then for food, what are the food varieties that we have in this place? Also on this conversation, I'll be inviting John, a colleague of mine who's been living in Kakuma Refugee Camp for the past 30 years. And today, he'll be giving us like a real insider perspective in regards to what to expect and what is his feel in regards to living in Kakuma Refugee Camp. So stay tuned and let's dive into this conversation. The first thing that I want to talk about is the weather. Nobody will prepare you enough in regards to adapting to the weather in Kakuma. The temperature here ranges from between 30 to 40 degrees centigrade. So this means that the weather condition here is warm. I would say hot. You need to have your sunscreen on. You need to pack and carry, you know, like comfortable clothes and not heavy clothes, because this place, even at night, we do not get to cover ourselves. Then in terms of what to wear, you find that most of the locals, the Turkanas, they wear their traditional clothes. For those that live in the villages, and then of course we have the modern Turkanas who wear our day-to-day normal clothes. And then here I would advise, if you're coming, let's say for a visit, or maybe you're moving to this place, have a lot of clothes that are made of linen and cotton, because you know those are quite comfortable. And then in regards to like carrying jackets and boots and all that, okay, for the boots you might need them if your particular task or job that you do maybe requires you to go to the villages, and of course we have thorns, and then also we have insects. So maybe you might need like a pair of boots, but not like to wear on day-to-day basis, not unless your job description demands that. And then for clothes, you do not need to carry heavy clothes, because it's rare that we get to experience cold temperatures here. So the other thing is that also you need to carry your water bottle, because you need to stay hydrated here. If you do not drink water, you'll find yourself you're feeling thirsty almost every hour, and then you need to replenish yourself. Like for my case right here, I have my water bottle, you know, that I need to sip in between even the conversation, because that's the only way I can stay hydrated. If you're not hydrated enough, then you find yourself getting migraines and feeling dizzy, which is not a very pleasant feeling. The other thing is that I would also like to talk about food. So when we talk about food in Kakuma, there is a variety to get. You know, sometimes people ask me, huko mnakulanga nini? So here you have like a choice. a whole lot of like 10 cuisines with over 10 nationalities living in this place. This is a very multicultural area. So we have like the Ethiopian cuisine, if that is something you like, the Anjera or Injera. I don't know how to say it correctly, but that's the case. So if you like Anjera, you know, you can walk into like the Ethiopian area, and there you can be able to buy Anjera and also eat the spicy food. We have that in plenty. Then apart from that, also you can try to eat the South Sudanese cuisine. There's a video I remember that we collaborated with a local South Sudanese friend of mine. Her name is Awak, and I have the link to the video up here. So if you like to see how you get to prepare okra and kisra, because that is like their native food, watch the video and learn. So that is also something that you can try, a cuisine that you can try once you come to Kakuma. So I know for you Kenyans, you are asking, do we have chapati madodo in that place? Do we have githeri? Do we have ugali nyama? Of course, we have eateries that you can walk into. And also for foreigners, I know you guys, maybe you are not used to the African cuisine. So we also have resorts, and we have facilities that offer pizza, ice cream, you know, salads, soups, you know, everything that you'd like, and something that you feel that works for you. Also, when it comes to shopping, we have open markets, and like I would say, the market days in this place ranges from, I think, Monday to Saturday. Even on Sunday, you can go to the market. Of course, it's not fully stocked, but you can be able to buy your vegetables from this place. Also, we have women who are running small gardens and also big farms that are funded and run by some of the NGOs that support food security projects. So they grow vegetables, things like muchicha, things like saga, and you know, they sell that to the local retailers in the markets, and you can walk into the market and buy that. So if, for example, you are looking for grains or maybe processed foods, you can walk into the supermarkets because we also have big supermarkets. I wouldn't say big and then you think about Quick Mart, or maybe you think about Carrefour, no. But then we have what I would call supermarkets, like Vanilas, Tawakal. You can just walk in there and do your shopping, and you can get everything that you need. So if you like cookies, maybe you want to buy a birthday cake, or maybe you want to buy, let's say, crisps and variety of drinking energy drinks, you can walk into those places and buy. We also have so many shops. We have so many retail shops. We have wholesalers, and you just need to walk into either Kakuma town or in the camps. You can easily access that. If you want to buy cold water or cold drinks, you can get them even in small kiosk. Yeah, so there's a lot to get in terms of like the variety of cuisine, vegetables, and unique food experiences. And of course, when you come to Kakuma on a visit, my first place that I would like to recommend to you is that go to Franco's Hotel and go have like an Ethiopian cuisine. That is like the in thing. If you're looking for the best pizza, go to Cairo Palace and try out their pizza. If you're looking to like eating a delicious chicken that is cooked in our Kenyan way, Kenyan cuisine, go to Atorite. Yeah, so like there's so much to get. Nyama choma, you can go to Nakosi, or you can go to Camels, and you'll find the best from these places. For housing, this one came in as a shocker for me, because I transitioned from living in Nakuru and then I came directly to Kakuma. So when I got to Kakuma, I was looking for accommodation, and I remember then, because I had come in with another lady who was my colleague and who became my friend. Her name is Dorothy. Shout out to Dorothy. Yeah, so we were looking for a house, and we were like, yeah, we are looking for a bed sitter that is fully, you know, like it has like a bathroom, running water, a kitchenette, you know, with tiles and all those facilities. Yeah, we had some money. I wouldn't say we were rich. We had some money, and we were willing to pay like 10,000 to get this room. But unfortunately, back then in 2017, early 2017, we walked in so many areas, we couldn't get an ideal house. And we ended up you know, like renting a space that we were paying 10,000. Of course, it was a permanent house made of stones. But then at the end of the day, it didn't have running water. We had to fetch water from outside. So this gives you like a clue in terms of housing. Many years later, of course, there has been a lot of development in Kakuma. We have facilities that, you know, like modern facility right now with running water, with running electricity. Then we didn't even have running electricity. You could find that in most of the areas, like the housing, the landlords had invested in buying generators, and that was what was powering the rooms. So at the end of the day, it was quite challenging because of course they had to ration the power, and at midnight they could switch off the lights. And that has changed over years, and there's a lot of development, I would say, even in the real estate in Kakuma. Right now you can get facilities that range in, if for example you are looking for a bed sitter, it ranges between 10,000 to, I would say, 18,000 Kenya shillings, depending on the size and like what the facility offers. Then apart from that, also you find that most of the people, including myself, we live in semi-permanent houses or just temporary houses. So these are made by iron sheets or mabatis, as we commonly call them. So in these mabati shelters, you find that they range from I would say 2,000 to like 5,500. So like the unit that I live in, I normally pay 3,500 minus electricity, and which is inclusive of water. So that works for me, and it's ideal for me, and it has enough space for me and my brother to coexist. Yeah, so like if you're looking for like, you know, like very modern houses and accommodation facility, you'll need to cough in a lot of money. I know of people who are paying up to 25,000 for like a 1-bedroom unit here in Kakuma. So that informs you of how much you need to like budget in if, for example, you've gotten an opportunity working in Kakuma, or maybe you are coming in for an assignment and then you need to like hire or rent a house. So like that is going to require some chums. So when we talk about, let's say for example, you are coming in here for a visit, or maybe like for a short period of time, like a week. So I know the question you have is, can I be able to get access to hotel rooms, resorts, or maybe lodging, or places that I can sleep in, Airbnbs and all that? Currently, I hear there are Airbnbs in Kakuma. Of course, I would like to show you guys how these Airbnbs are, maybe in my coming videos. I hear the range between 5,500 per night to like 15,000 per night. So I haven't seen them, but that's what I hear. So, but I think like a regular charge would be like 6,500 per night. This is quite expensive compared to other cities or in other towns, but I think it's because of the demand and also the context, because we have a lot of expatriates who are coming in because of the NGOs and the cash flow. This has made the town quite expensive. And also I think there aren't so many people who are booking these Airbnb, so like the owners have to be profitable. So I think they have to like make the rates go up. Anyway, I will inform you in depth once I get to see these Airbnbs in my future video. So stay tuned, because I'll be sharing that with you once I have that information. So if you'd like to come visit Kakuma and you're looking for a place to sleep in for maybe for a night, or maybe you are on transit, you're going to Lokichogio, you can book hotel rooms that ranges between 800 to like 5,500 per night. Yeah, so I would talk about like lodgings. We have cheap lodgings with even, you know, like a running shower that rates for 800 per night. And then we have, of course, I would say like a 3-star hotel. I don't know if they are called hotels, or maybe, yeah, sleeping accommodation, whatever you call them. And these facilities, you know, they range like for 5,500 for bed and breakfast. So of course the ambience in this place is quite different, and they offer more in terms of like the cuisine, in terms of the breakfast. It has a variety, and then the security in these places are also quite safe. Yeah, so don't worry about accommodation. You can easily look that up and you can find facilities. So you can, if you're looking to pay like let's say 5,500 per night, there's a place called Cairo Palace. You can book in there, and I think also it's easy for you to just Google and you find the place. Then apart from that, also we have accommodation that goes for around 2,500. Like there's this facility called Kakuma Guest House. Of course the rates might change depending on the season. Yeah, so please don't tell them, yeah, Wanjira said it's 2,500. This is in 2024. I don't know in 2025 because of inflation what is going to happen. But if it happens, just be prepared. Like that is the range. Yeah, and then the other thing is that also when you're looking into like places just within town, we have accommodation that are just within town. There's a new building in town. I can't remember the name. It's around like the Barabaras you go to Catholic Church. So for this facility, I hear it's 2,500, and it's like the only flat that we have in Kakuma town. So that's an ideal place that you can just sleep in, and then you can have the view of the whole of Kakuma town, which is quite unique. So let's talk about the elephant in the room, security. How is the security conditions in Kakuma or in Turkana? So I would say living here for close to 8 years, I have never had an insecurity issue happening to myself. I have had of other people maybe who are hijacked along the way, you know, between the border of Turkana County and West Pokot. I have heard of those case scenarios, but to myself, it has never happened to me. Within the camp, I would say it's quite safe in terms of security measures. We have the Kenya police that is mandated, you know, to like keep the camp safe. And also we have the camp manager who are also in charge of like checking the welfare of the refugees living here in Kakuma Refugee Camp. So if you're coming here for the first time, especially for foreigners, you need to go report to the camp manager and you need to inform about why you've come into the camp. But if you are a Kenyan who just want to explore, you can come in as long as you just want to see how Kakuma is, or maybe you're just an African from another country. I see people coming in and, you know, like taking walks to the camp and then they leave, if that is your business. But of course, if you need to like engage with the communities here, especially with the refugees, you need to like seek proper authority. And for that information, you just need to check it on Google. You can check it on the DRS website. DRS is like the Department of Refugee Secretariat, or maybe you can look it up from the UNHCR website, and then that will lead you to like the protocol you need to follow for you to come into Kakuma Refugee Camp. I would say for foreigners, because you know you're going to stand out and people are going to call you Mzungu, it means that you are going to, everybody's going to know that you do not belong to this place. So for your own security, it's right that you go through the proper channels, or maybe get like a local host who is going to show you around, because otherwise, you know, somebody might have the assumption you have money and something might happen. I have not had any scenarios of Kakuma where foreigners have been attacked. Maybe in Lokichogya a long time ago, but I would say Kakuma is quite safe. It's safe. I have had moments where maybe I went to the barber shop and I was late in the camp, like in Kakuma Refugee Camp, and I had to take a boda boda to town and nothing has happened. Of course, we have cases of burglary that you hear among the community members, but these cases of burglary, even in Nairobi, when you go to Kibera or when you go to Mathare, or even when you go to other areas where there is a lot of like it's overpopulated, you'll always find these cases of theft and burglary. Let's talk about the means of travel. So traveling in Kakuma, like how do you even get to Kakuma? Sometimes people ask me, do you use a flight to fly to Kakuma or you use a bus? So for my case, it depends with what I can afford. Most of the times I just use like the road transportation, because that is what currently I can afford. But if, for example, I'm going for official or business travel, and maybe the organizations that are inviting me or the people that I'm working with, you know, like they can pay for my flights, that's the only time I get to use like the flights. The flights right now are quite expensive. It's around, I would say, 11,000 for one way, and then you have to fly from Lodwar to Wilson or from Wilson to Lodwar if you are not a humanitarian. If you're working, of course, with the NGOs or the UN affiliated agencies, then you have access to flights that fly directly to Kakuma. So for this flight, of course, you have to be attached to the organization that is bringing you here for you to be able to access that. So for normal wananchi, watu wa kawaida kama mimi, you have to use the bus or the shuttle. So we have a very common bus that is called Tosha, and this is the bus that I can recommend. So for Tosha, you book it, if you're in Nairobi, you book it at the 4th Street or the 4th Avenue in Eastleigh. If you book the Tosha bus from Nairobi Eastleigh on 4th Street at midday, the bus is going to start the journey at 1 p.m. and you will get to Kakuma the next morning at around 9 a.m. So it means like the journey is quite so long. You can also decide to take a shuttle from Nairobi, and you can take a shuttle from Afya Center. So if you take a shuttle from Afya Center, you take a shuttle from Nairobi and then it takes you to Kitale. I can't remember how much you pay for that, but I think it could be ranging from around 1,500 or 2,000. I'm not sure, depending with the rates and also the season and the year. So I'm making this video in 2024. So for the transport, then you have to take another shuttle now all the way from Kitale to Kakuma, and you pay 2,000 Kenya shillings for that. So if you take the bus all the way from ECD to Kakuma directly, you pay 3,500. So within Kakuma, we normally use boda boda. Boda boda is the motorbikes. Yeah, so we have a lot of motorbikes here. Unfortunately, we do not have matatus. The other alternative method of transport is that also people use Probox. So with the Probox, that is what we use to maybe like move from Kakuma to Lodwar. So if you want to go visit Lodwar and you are living in Kakuma, you'll take a Probox. If you want to go to Lokichogia, we have Probox that normally take people there, and you pay from Kakuma to Lodwar, you pay 700 Kenya shillings for now. So what about taxi? Of course, we have taxis in this area, especially in Lodwar, and of recent in Kakuma. So we have like a local taxi provider. They call themselves Nawi. So with Nawi, you can take the ride all the way from Lodwar to Kakuma. So for example, if you take the commercial flight, which is Skywards, so if you book the Skyward flight and then you want to come to Kakuma, you will alight in Lodwar town. Then from Lodwar town, you need to like book the Nawi taxi. We also have like the Kawaida taxi, normally at the taxi bay just as you alight from the airport. I don't know if it's called the airport or the airstrip. Yeah, I think it's the airport. So as you alight from the airport, you can just take a taxi, and with the taxi, they can charge you between 5,000 to 7,000, depending of course with the car type. So if you are looking like for a 4-wheel drive, that could cost you more, and that could range between, let's say, 10 to 20,000, depending with the driver and also the car and the comfort. Yeah, so that's it about transport. I don't know if there's anything else that I have skipped. I'm having a look at my computer just to remind me about the things that I said I'll talk about. So we've talked about weather, we've talked about food, we've talked about housing, we've talked about security, and then we've talked about the means of travel. So if you want to book a flight, you have to book through Skyward. It's the only flight for now which is traveling from Wilson to Lodwar. So there's no direct flight to Kakuma, not unless you are a humanitarian staff. So on the last bit of this conversation, I'll be talking to John. Like I shared with you, John has been living here for 30 years. Imagine, like his whole life living in Kakuma Refugee Camp. He's a South Sudanese, but I also call him a Kenyan because he has been living in Kenya for such a long time, and would like to hear like how has been his like personal experience, and then what other insight does he have to offer. So stay tuned for that bit, and thank you so much for watching until this part. If you've liked this type of content, you know, like and leave a thumbs up to the video, and of course remember to subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. How was life in Kakuma, now leaving Lokichogio and coming to Kakuma? Because for my case, I came in 2017. Most of the houses, even huku kwa host community, hazikukuwa na stima. We were using generators. Alafu, like, you didn't have like a variety of houses to choose from, even if you had the money. Like most of the houses zilikuwa tu ni semi-permanent ama ni temporary, you see? Yeah, so camp venye ulikuja, how was the camp? Ilikuwa imejaa venye hivi imejaa, ama by then camp hata haikukuwa na different section like Kakuma 1, 2, 3, 4?
So for us, the beginners of camp that time, I think Kakuma mwisho ilikuwa ninapata grounds, but Don Bosco yuko sahi. We only knew Kakuma 1 yote hadi Hongkong. Alafu huko mwisho napata was where people walikuwa they were being buried. Then afterwards Kakuma 2 came. Kakuma 2 ilikuja ndio niende kutoka, and that time actually maisha ilikuwa rahisi. We were few. Chakula ilikuwa kwa wingi. Kulikuwa na maragwe, tulikuwa tunashika hadi sirali, which is wheat flour. Chapati tukishika hizo kuna nusa tu area yote ni chapati inanuka. That time I think life was good. You used to buy mandazi at 1 shilling. Unajua uchumi wa Kenya wakati ilikuwa ni mzuri sana. Ukiwa na 50 bob ni sonko. Then imagine now me, my father working somewhere good. I think ilikuwa ina depend kama tu kama saa hii. If you have somebody who is somewhere na kusupport, life pia itaenda hivyo. That is how Kakuma iko. If you have support, it will be good. But kama support hakuna, it will be hard.
Okay, and now your experiences as a refugee, because I know maybe for some people who will watch this content, they're like, how is life from a refugee perspective? So like in terms of security, in terms of housing, in terms of like accessing basic needs. So in general, unaweza sema maisha imekuaje for you as a refugee?
As a refugee, tuki differentiate sahi na kitambo. Hiyo wakati maisha ilikuwa rahisi. Hata hospitali hakukuwa na line kama sahi. But sahi people are overpopulated, and as we know, the sponsoring of humanitarian work imeshuka. So life is getting even harder slowly by slowly. Then for people like us, imagine nimezaliwa hapa. Kuna form process watu wanaenda. Sijaipanda ndege. Mimi nashindwa mtu anakuja anaenda. Ai, kwani mimi nilikosea wapi, you see? So those are the things. According to security, it depends. You know, watu ni wanadamu ni wale. As for human beings, ukuje uishi na watu simply, you come as a simple person, as the way you are, uingie kwa watu, utasikizana na watu. Because there are norms and beliefs in different places. It's just how you go about how you do your thing. So that is how it is. Kakuma is a good place. If you want to visit, I welcome you. We have good places. Kuna swimming pool. Usiona ati tuko hakuna stima. Tuko na wifi pia siku hizi. Lakini hiyo kitambo hatukuwa nayo. Ilikuwa ni makandol. Mkiwa na candle kwenye ama ile D-light, walai mlikuwa masongo. Ama ile radio kidogo tulikuwa tunasikia Mr. Nice na Filmed was the only source of television actually by that time. Alikuwa analeta TV na track. Tuwekewa hapo film. Unapiga wilo logo mbaya sana.
Oh nice.
Yeah, that time those were the days. Nikikumbuka saa hii, I just remember, yeah.
So I hope this video has given you insights in regards to what to expect once you get to Kakuma Refugee Camp. A huge thanks to John for sharing his story. And of course, thank you so much for finding out about this video. Please don't forget to like, share, and also subscribe for more of such content. See you next time, and thank you so much. God bless.